Hello, and thank you so much for your interest in submitting a 2027 nomination for the Governor's Awards for the Arts. I'm Katie Monahan, and I'm a communications strategist here at the Ohio Arts Council, and I also help coordinate the Governor's Awards. And in this video, we're going to go over just a few frequently asked questions that we get about the nomination process. So let's go ahead and dive in. First up, eligibility. That's a big one, right? So one of the main requirements for eligibility is just that nominees must live or work in Ohio. So they must either reside here or do a large majority of their work here in Ohio. They are the Governor's Awards for the Arts in Ohio, so that's pretty self-explanatory there. Another thing to keep in mind is that nominees must be living. So we do not award any posthumous awards. And we do actually require that if a nominee is selected as an award winner, that they do join us in person at the Governor's Awards Luncheon that is held in May. It's a really wonderful event, and it's made that much better by the awardees being there in person to celebrate. So those are just some things to think about for eligibility. Next, we get a lot of questions about self-nominations. So self-nominations are permitted. An organization or an individual may nominate themselves. Now, I will say that if you choose to go this route, do recommend that you maybe engage a colleague or a member of your community or an executive director or something from your organization to actually submit the nomination on your behalf. Sometimes we don't always know the best way to talk about ourselves, and other people can see things that we don't. And it just comes across as a stronger nomination if the nomination comes from somebody else. Now, that's not to say that you can't do a lovely job nominating yourself. If that is the route you choose to go, you can totally do that. But I would recommend for a stronger nomination, partner with somebody. You can help them write the nomination narrative. You can help them say, these are the 3 people that I want to choose for my support letter writers. Absolutely. But just having that other voice really does add some depth to the nomination. So, like I said, if you're an individual, think about a colleague or a community member or somebody who has really experienced your work personally, who can really speak to the breadth, the depth, the impact that you have created. And if you're an organization who wants to self-nominate, just recommend having the nomination come from an executive director or perhaps somebody else in leadership, like a board chair. So just keep those things in mind. All right, next, okay, here's a favorite one. So repeat nominations. What we mean by repeat nominations is if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Repeat nominations for unsuccessful nominees in the past are incredibly encouraged. Remember, this is a very highly competitive process. We are so fortunate to have immense talent and incredible arts leaders in this state. And so it is quite a job for the selection committee to sort through and choose winners out of some incredibly competitive applications. So just because you maybe didn't succeed during the last cycle does not mean that you don't stand a chance this next time around. Please do not be discouraged. So we have actually had several past nominators who didn't necessarily have success on the first or maybe even the second time around. But something to keep in mind is that the selection committee does change every cycle. So you never quite know what might speak to a different individual, what story might speak to somebody. If you do choose to re-up a nomination, you definitely want to make sure you go back into your nomination narrative and you go back into those support letters and you update those to reflect any additional accomplishments or additional important pieces of information that have occurred since the last nomination, just to make sure everything's current. You definitely want to, again, have someone on the outside take a look at it and offer suggestions. They may see something that you didn't and could identify areas where it could be stronger, but we definitely do encourage you to try again. Highly competitive, but highly prestigious and rewarding award. So those are basically the most frequently asked questions. Now, if you still have some lingering questions after this video, absolutely feel free to reach out to me. I am happy to answer your questions. My email address is here on the screen, katie.monahan@oac.ohio.gov. You can also find my contact information on the OAC's website at oac.ohio.gov. That does it for these frequently asked questions. But again, don't hesitate to reach out, and we do look forward to receiving your nomination. Thank you.